Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne. And I bring you a video tonight titled, What to Do When She Sells You the Good Girl Persona. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me up the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. Tonight's video, it's brought to you by a discussion that we had on my Monday Zoom call in my Matthew C. Horne Dating Coaching Community on the school platform. And the link to sign up is in the video description as well as pinned to the top of the comments. These gentlemen get to ask me whatever they want to ask me. Everyone's getting breakthroughs. Everyone's at various levels of the game, but everyone is getting exactly what they came for. Everyone's growing. Everyone's elevating. So I want to encourage you all to sign up for my dating coaching community on the school platform. Once again, the link to sign up is in the video description as well as pinned to the top of the comments. But tonight's video, what to do when she sells you the good girl persona. It's derived from a question that I was asked in my dating coaching community on a Monday Zoom call. And the gentleman asked the question, how do I cut through her selling of the good girl persona? And I immediately responded to him and I said, you don't. You don't. Because once the woman is selling you a good girl persona, she's already showing you that she's a skilled manipulator. She's showing you a side of herself that she wants to benefit from you in some regard that's not in regard to sexual attraction. Meaning she's not that attracted to you, or she's very attracted to you, but she doesn't know how to function in the space of a sexy attractive man, so she resorts to manipulation. And so there's no good from a woman who sells you a good girl persona. There's nothing good that's going to come from that. It's going to be hoops. And there's no such thing as hoop-free pussy after she sold you hoops to jump through to get to the pussy, okay? There's no such thing. And so that's why I told the gentleman, drop her off. As soon as she tries to sell you the good girl persona, just drop her off, because there's nothing good that's going to come from that. And some men are tempted to jump through the hoops just to, get a notch under their belt to say, brag to their boys and like, look at this pretty ass girl, look at this beautiful girl. Yeah, I got that. But they compromise their masculinity in the process. So there's nothing good that can come from acquiescing and submitting to the woman that's telling you that you have to jump through hoops. She's telling you the good girl persona. I'm not like that. Who do you think I am? When you introduce a sexual scenario and situation to her. And there was a dialogue even before this gentleman asked me the question in the dating group. There was a dialogue with a new member of the group, and he was talking about how he's coming to a point in his life where he's in full awareness of himself, and he's seen enough of women that he understands the best sides of women. And he talked about how he presented a sexual situation to a woman, and she hit him with the good girl persona. Oh, I'm not like that, and what makes you think that I'm like that? And he just responded to her and was just like, okay, we're on different pages. Like this guy's a little more advanced in the game. And then he was talking, and I had to stop him. I said, listen, she hit you with the shaming language after that, didn't she? And he was like, you're right. She asked me what kind of guy am I to just want to have sex with her, and who do you think I am, and all that kind of stuff. Like, she tried to shame him. And I let him know, shaming language, that's like a Hail Mary. It's a last resort to bring you under submission to the manipulative side of herself that she's selling to you. So you never go for the shaming language, because that brings you under submission to her. And you can't be afraid to be a villain. I can't say that enough on my channel, okay? Sexy attractive men that understand all sides of women and that are in full recognition of themselves, you are going to be painted as the villain. You can't escape it. Any woman that can't bring you under submission to her spell, her pussy, is going to view you as the villain. And she's going to run to the group. Every major city, are we dating the same guy? That's why I said in my previous videos, it's an honor to be in the group. If too many women like you, it's a problem. Reference that video. You can't be afraid to be the villain, because the villain is the man that's extremely, deeply fixated within himself. He's not going for anything other than what he wants. And it doesn't matter that he understands all sides of women and what she's attempting to do to him in terms of manipulating him. The only thing that matters is what he wants. And once you really develop yourself, you regularly get what you want. So a woman that sells you a manipulative side of herself is invisible. And once she becomes invisible, here comes the shaming language. She runs to the group. She tells lies. Oh, he thought I was this kind of woman and this and that. And she's selling lies because everything that man asks her for, she regularly does that with the guy that she's extremely sexually attracted to. So it's okay to understand after you introduce sexual language to a woman that every woman doesn't have to desire you that way. But you're not thinking about that. You're not offended by that because you're in the space of women who are regularly offer themselves to you. And once a manipulative woman knows that she's invisible, that's when the shaming language is going to come. How dare you not fall under my manipulative spell? But as a sexy, attractive man, you have to accept you will be the villain. And it's something you have to live with. But guess what? Your life is going to be in complete balance because everything in your life, everything in your space is an exact match for how you see yourself. And it's an exact match for how you see yourself because you see yourself according to your regular experiences. You develop into the sexy, attractive man. And get some coaching from me if you want to know how to develop into that man. But once again, nothing good can come from dealing with a woman that's selling you the manipulative side of herself. That's selling you the good girl persona. Nothing good can come from that. Because at best, you can play her game and you can have sexual access to her, but it's going to come with more hoops. There's no such thing as hoop-free pussy once you signed up to jump through hoops. There's no such thing. That's why you have to be very careful and cognizant of how the women in your space are responding to you. See, you want very attractive women who are clear-minded. As a sexy, attractive man, that's your match. A very attractive woman who is clear-minded. What I mean by clear-minded is that she's not afraid to be in full recognition of who you are and have a sexual experience with you, whether you introduce it to her or whether she introduces it to you. She's not afraid of it because she's clear-minded. She's in full awareness of herself. Manipulation is not her game. Fulfillment is her game. She sees you as an experience that's going to bring her fulfillment. Those are the women that you deal with. There's no hoops, no drama, no back and forth, no games. Those are the women that you deal with as a sexy, attractive man. Only those women. Because nothing good comes from going to a woman's side, acquiescing to her games, and experiencing the subsequent games that are going to come from you jumping through the first hoop. Nothing good comes from that. And the good thing about these clear-minded women is that they understand very sexually attractive men when they're in their presence, because they don't get in the presence of them often, but they know how to function in the presence of that man once they get into his presence. And so she views it as offensive. I'm going to explain this, okay? She views it as offensive to encounter an extremely sexy, attractive man and bring him nothing but her innate lust that she has for that man. Because she's in full understanding of herself, and since she's not a narcissist, she's able to look outside of herself. And when she looks outside of herself, she sees all the women that surround you. Even if you all meet one-on-one, she can read your aura, read your energy, and say, this is a man that is desired by many beautiful women. I am not an anomaly, even though she's beautiful. She says, this is a man that's desired by many beautiful women. So she's not going to disrespect you by selling you a good girl persona. She understands that's disrespectful. Because in the space of a sexy, attractive man who has options, he is always and he's regularly in the space of women who desire him sexually. So she understands through humility that she is one of many. And since she understands that there's no good girl persona to sell to you, she can only give herself to you. She's not going to offend you. She respects you. She respects the magnitude of man that you've become. She sees your blind spots. She sees other extremely beautiful women checking you out. So she's not going to disrespect you by selling you some bullshit. Oh, I don't do that. What kind of woman do you think I am? She understands that type of language is disrespectful. She understands that that type of language will get her out of your space quickly. And so she offers you her best because she's her best self and she has a clear mind. And her inclination is to experience you, to enjoy you, absorb your energy and your presence. So the clear-minded woman, attractive woman, is a match for the sexy, attractive man because she doesn't want to offend you, because she understands your reality. Those are the women that you deal with. Those are the women that you deal with. It's no compromise. It's no making exceptions or concessions. That is the woman that you deal with as a sexy, attractive man. And you have to begin to ask yourself some questions, because if a woman can offer you manipulation and you accept manipulation, meaning that I'm a good girl, I have the good girl persona. Once you accept that, she knows you're ignorant. She knows you're ignorant to yourself and you're easily manipulated. And so you're her plaything at that point. If she can get you to accept her manipulation, then she understands that you're weak and you're a plaything. You're something to play with. Because women know the hierarchy of men. Women know the men who are extremely sexy attractive, and they're not going for the bullshit. And so even if she knows you're extremely sexy attractive and she sells you some bullshit, she knows that the sexy attractive man that's grounded, has an identity, has a love for himself and a fixation within himself, he's going to dismiss her. But she's going to try you because she hasn't become a match for what she really wants. She wants the sexy attractive man. She wants to pair with the sexy attractive man, but her regular experiences are dealing with men who are inferior. They might be extremely attractive, but they don't have anything going for themselves. You're a full man. You have a backdrop of success in addition to your extremely sexy attractive appearance. You have an energy emanating from you that represents self-love. You have an appearance that's in front of her face that emanates that you love yourself. You're always on point. You're never slipping. You're in fullness. You're in full bloom. And she recognizes that. But if she can play with you, then she's telling you, you're not a man to be recognized. You're not a man to be revered. You're a man to be played with. And so every woman understands the man that's in front of her. But if she's prepared to be in the space of the sexy attractive man, and she regularly has experiences with the sexy attractive man, she's going to greet you with lust. She's going to stay in your rapture, and she's going to stay there. Sex is going to be her idea, and she's going to want a continuum of sexual experiences with you as long as you perform. As long as you perform sexually. She's not going anywhere. But see, the manipulative woman recognizes who you are, but instead of getting caught up in your rapture, she wants you caught up in her web. And her web is where she destroys men. See, when a spider has a web, the web is enticing, but the web is identified as the web once the prey has been caught and they can't escape it. That's what the low quality woman wants you. She wants you in her web. and she has a sea of insects in her web that she's going to consume at her disposal. And you don't have to be the insect that's a byproduct of the other insects that are in her web. She deals with low quality men that don't respect themselves. You want to be the man that immediately recognizes who she is and dismisses her before she can even cast her web. That's the sexy, attractive man. See, you all have to start to elevate. You all watch my videos. I know I'm spitting that real game, man. But at a certain point in time, you can't go back and forth within yourself with the temptation to deal with the good girl persona, the bullshit that she's selling to you. If you're still tempted to deal with the bullshit of the good girl persona, you need to take a hard and deep look within yourself and say, what in me is tempted to go to her side and deal with her manipulation? If you're going to really grow and elevate into the sexy, attractive man who's in full bloom, you're going to have to start having hard conversations with yourself. And that's what I love about the men in my group. I'm spitting that real game. I'm giving them direction and showing them how to be a departure of a man that a woman can easily recognize, but they're getting breakthroughs because they're taking the wisdom, they're applying it, they're having experiences. That's when you get the breakthrough. Even if you listen to my channel, apply the wisdom. When you apply the wisdom and you're dealing with women, it becomes real. My wisdom, coupled with you getting out there in the field and dealing with women, it's going to create breakthroughs. Because your breakthrough is not in hearing my words. Your breakthrough is in the understanding of why I say what I say. And you can only get that when you deal with women. So you can't be afraid. This is not a channel for you to come and get wisdom and sit on the sideline. You have to apply it. Go out there and fall on your face a couple of times, man. Go out there and learn and grow. That's where your breakthroughs are. Don't be afraid. Understand that it's a journey to becoming this man. That's why I really, love the men in my group, in my dating coach community. They're not afraid to undertake the journey because the breakthroughs are in the journey. In the journey, you get understanding. On these videos, you get wisdom. And sometimes you can hear what I say, you can apply it to some of your experiences and realize where you went left, and you can get a breakthrough. But ultimately, wisdom is beneficial to you when it's applied and you're moving forward. So you have to go out there and you have to move forward with confidence and not be afraid to slip up and fall. Because once the wisdom begins to take root inside of you, you can go make a mistake with a woman, but it's not going to feel right. And that's the breakthrough right there. It doesn't feel right because there's another conversation of truth inside of you that's showing you that you made a misstep, that you fell victim and you fell prey to an inferior side of a woman. So the good girl persona, she's selling you an inferior side of herself. She's trying to throw you off of her scent of the true lust and desire that governs her. It's her highest biological imperative. Women would much rather have a man that they're extremely sexually attracted to that has something going for himself. She doesn't have to compartmentalize that man. You're the recognizable man. You're the fantasy man. Every woman could meet a man that is extremely sexually attractive, that has something going for himself, meaning he has a backdrop of success, he's a leader of himself, then that is the woman, that is the man that she can submit to, because she's not even going to be tempted to look around that man because she's extremely attracted to the man. He's her first choice. The extremely attractive man who doesn't have anything going for himself that can be manipulated, yeah, she'll have experiences with him, but she can't stay in his space because he's not a safe space because she can manipulate him. But once you graduate from being able to be manipulated through understanding all sides of women, you immediately become the first choice of the women that you're attracted to.